Hello?
Hey Mike, can you hear me?
I can. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm pretty good. Pretty good.
That's good. I'm so glad we got to connect. My name's Maham. It's spelled the same way backwards. It's a little hard for people to pronounce sometimes, but I always kind of preface with that. Spelled the same way backwards, like a palindrome. I'd love to kind of chat more about your background being a financial advisor and kind of what you're up to right now. I would love to hear everything.
Definitely, Maham. Thank you for having me. Your hair looks amazing.
Oh, thank you so much.
Have you ever heard of the name Nevea? Nevea?
Navia?
Navia. There you go.
Navia?
I
Yeah,
can't.
I
I
have.
can pronounce your name easy, but I can't pronounce Navia easy. Uh, just having spelled backwards as well. So.
Oh, okay. Well, that's good to know. I can add that to like another list. Race car is as well. So
Race car?
race car is spelled the same way backwards.
Oh, see, now I'm like, wow. Okay, that's cool. Um, yeah. So when I was a financial advisor, I um, that's hard. And that taught me, quite honestly, how to be a full-fledged entrepreneur. I worked at a company to where they preach a sentiment of you are your own boss.
Hmm.
And I took that as a learning tool to truly become my own boss, which I am now. And when I was a financial advisor, um, I just remember literally being at the office from 7 a.m. to 11 p.m.
Hmm.
And I was just, if I wasn't physically working with the client, I was studying something
Right.
about my craft. So I would say like that's step one is just to know your craft in and out. And then from there, everyone that you know, everyone that you encounter must know what you do,
Right. Exactly.
right? Not in a braggadocious way, not in a little brother annoying way, but more in a resource.
Right.
If needed for a voice of reason, if needed for some advice, or
Hmm.
if needed because you are ready to take action. And
That's right.
so that's why it's needed for people to know exactly what you do as a financial advisor, or in any field of entrepreneurship. I learned that there will be good days and then there will be even worse days,
Right.
like
Always. Always.
always. And you just have to. I think I put this on my LinkedIn a few days ago. The path of being an entrepreneur is more so about your emotion and your action towards those emotions that have been stirred up from your job as an entrepreneur.
Very true. Well said.
The way that you act when something arises will dictate if you can handle it, if you can tough it out or not.
Definitely. Definitely. And I think people's backgrounds and kind of their experiences in life have a lot to do with that. So I want to firstly kind of start off by saying thank you for your service. I know you were an Air Force veteran, so that's incredible. And that's definitely something I've always admired about you. And secondly, I know you've, traveled a lot in your life. So I kind of want to hear more about that. How do you feel your travels have, built you to the man you are or the entrepreneur or businessman you are today?
Thank you for that, Maham, by the way. I appreciate that. It's done everything for me, literally. I think that I have friends, and this is sad to say, I have family members, my cousins and my aunts and uncles that are in Dallas, that some of them have literally never left the city of Dallas. So
Mhm.
when I pose them a question like current events as of right now, their mindset is strictly, it's very isolated, right? They can't think beyond their constructs of Dallas, Texas, right?
Right.
But when I've traveled to Norway or Abu Dhabi or Africa or Italy, all these different countries in continent, I said Africa, I've learned that there's people overseas that they don't live as good as we do, right? For
Right.
them, it's not water isn't something that you just turn on the faucet, you know?
Mhm.
It's just
Definitely.
crazy. And so traveling has taught me that when it comes to being an entrepreneur,
Mhm.
if there's a will, there's a way. It will get done.
Definitely.
You can't do
Definitely.
it, somebody else will. Somebody will figure it out. If you want it bad enough, you can figure it out.
Yeah, I completely agree. I think getting out of your bubble and getting out of even if it's the city you are in, or maybe exposing yourself to different kinds of people, it always helps you grow as a person, helps you grow as an entrepreneur. And that definitely resonated with me always was your closeness to your family. I think that also has a lot to do with people's upbringing and people's values. And how has your family kind of motivated you, or inspired you to kind of be the person you are today?
Maham, that's a really good question. My mother, um, worked her butt off, multiple jobs. And I think what she taught me was just balance, right? Balance in life is very vital. But then also, my family taught me that literally your mind can make anything become normal, right? So if I grew up wealthy, which I did not at all, but if I grew up wealthy, that would be my norm, right? So my family taught me how to grow up in a situation to where I may have less than, but that doesn't stop the the lengths that I can reach, right? That doesn't stop anything that I could strive for in life. And I think they taught me more grit than anything.
Right, definitely. No, that's incredible. And I think I can attest to that. I think your fans and your followers can see that as well. Something that I've always seen you do was be a part of organizations that you feel strongly for and that are meaningful to you. So I know you're part of Big Brothers, Big Sisters. Kind of tell me more about your involvement in that and possibly other organizations that you are passionate about.
Definitely. That's the biggest one. Big Brothers, Big Sisters. That to me is, we need more men. So, I have a platform to be with you, Maham. So I want to say we need more men, Biggs. I'm so elated for all the women. You guys just seem to have a better heart than we do. But that's a joke, but not. Sorry, guys. But I find Big Brothers, Big Sisters so invaluable because every time I see my little, even when he's being maybe like standoffish and or quiet towards me, especially people that want to be a big, that may probably happen, your little will be quiet at first.
Right.
When they come to you for something, you literally will drop anything to speak to that child.
Definitely.
Because the good in us as humans, we want the younger version of us to have a better offspring, like a better lifestyle, right? And so if I can talk to my little right now about the current events that are going on from a non-biased standpoint, right? I've heard, not my little, but I've heard black kids say, I'm a thug. And that's just because of what they see on TV. You know how much that breaks my heart, right? And I think that people that may have one viewpoint, when they hear a child say something like that, it just melts you and it makes you realize the humanity in us again,
Definitely.
right? Makes you realize the kid in us again. When my little says something crazy, like just the most off the wall thing, it just makes me smile and laugh because I'm like, thank you for that nugget of like, always to be a child, always be curious.
Exactly.
It's my mentee teaches me more than I teach him, like straight up.
Yeah, I think kids are you can absorb so much from kids because they're so raw and so vulnerable. And I think we, as people, individuals, we struggle with that. We struggle with being vulnerable and being open and honest. And I think that's amazing that you're part of such a great organization. Due to the current state we are in, it's just, I'm sure you feel the same way. I feel the same way. Many others feel the same way. We're all in a very state of feeling heavy. Nothing feels right. We don't want to speak on anything besides what's going on in our country. I think we need to educate people. We need to let people know what is going on. And I'm so happy you've been a voice to do that.
Thank you, Maham. I think, quite honestly speaking from my heart, it's been no excuse not to know better, right? Like for years. I mean, since social media age, there's been no excuse. This has happened in my culture for decades. And so my Nietzschean brain, when I lived in Dallas, was like, there's no excuse because that was my reality, right? But then as I grew up, I met people that have never met a black person. I literally, in the 2010s, that last decade, I met people that have never met a black person, which was baffling to me. But it made me realize that those people just truly may be ignorant. But since the dawn of social media, you cannot be ignorant no more. Like it's out there. It's blatant out there. And I'm happy that, because I've been extremely vocal and just saying exactly how it is. I'm happy that people are receptive to it. I need people to realize that Black people are angry and emotional, and that emotion comes out in different ways. And so be patient. But on the same token, I need you to do something. We all can do something. We all can do something, which is educate ourselves and to call it out when we see it.
I completely agree. And thank you so much for saying that. This week, again, it just doesn't feel right speaking on anything else. And so I've been complimentary raising awareness on Black-owned businesses on my page. And so I've been getting an overwhelming response of people sending me, Black-owned businesses, and it's been incredible to just give them a message and let them know we love what you're doing, we love your page, we love your business. And I think, and I think, thank you so much. And I think everyone kind of needs to do their part. There's no excuse anymore in the time we're in, and I'm happy we were able to address that, because I know that this is the current state we are in, and I didn't feel right not addressing it,
Maham, I can understand how you're like, this is a platform to speak on small businesses, but I love how you overcame, and you came to the times of, hey, I can speak on my platform within my niche about the current topics as well, right? 49% of American workers work for a small business owner, which is 500 people or less, right? And so your business is all about entrepreneurials. 49%, damn near 50% of everyone works for a small business owner. So I think that, like, I was just reading that the Wendy's CEO just gave $400 million to the Trump administration to keep them in office. So things like that, you have such a great channel to where we live in a capitalist society in America. So therefore, entrepreneurs run America.
Definitely.
And entrepreneurs, we have to use our voice, because our voice equates to dollars, right? And everyone, despite where you stand, will be affected by dollars and cents, and you have such a platform to speak on it. So I love it.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. But more, do you have any tips for, future entrepreneurs or kind of future business owners? How would you say to get them out of that rut? A lot of people come to me and they tell me they have an idea, but, they don't know how to implement it, or they need that little extra push. So if you could just kind of use a second to just give people that motivation and push, because I know you have that, Mike. You have that personality.
I absolutely do. I got like 100 books in my place right now about it. I was talking about 100 books in my place. Educate yourself. You need to know more about your subject than anyone else. So therefore, for example, if you want to open up a burger spot, you want to be a Black-owned burger spot down the street, right? Go work for McDonald's for 2 years. Learn everything. Like, literally utilize that as your internship. Learn it, right? Take what you love about it, take what you hate about it, and make sure you implement those things in your business, right? That's step one, I would say. So for me, I absolutely love finances. I wanted to make sure, quite honestly, that I became a financial advisor to, one, help myself, two, help my mom, sister, grandma, my Black community, and everyone else in that order. And now I'm able to, I was a financial advisor. I was rookie of the year. I was number one in my company, did all these great things.
Congratulations. That's amazing.
But I utilize that as an internship, right? So I would say, first and foremost, learn your subject. It's 2020. We can learn so much so fast. Number two, I would say is, and this may be controversial, but don't tell everybody your aspirations. And what I mean by that is, some people gonna hate on you, and probably those people are the people that love you the most, the people that are closest to you. And that's because they're like, Maham, I love you, baby, go do this instead. You're like, Mom, I love you, I'm gonna do this,
Right. 100%.
And it comes from love. Like, they don't naturally, when we care about someone, you don't want them to hurt, right? So I would say, if you do tell them, keep their thoughts only with a grain of salt, because at the end of the day, you're the one that's making it work. 2 years ago, I only follow, like, besides my Bachelor Nation folks, I only follow a very small select group of people on IG. And that's one thing, which it could be number three, which is surround yourself with literally positivity and like-minded individuals. So if I'm a Texapreneur, I'm following all entrepreneurs that are big time in my state, right? I'm trying to be, literally, I want to make it like water. That's all I'm drinking, right?
Right.
All I'm drinking is my source of information. So for me, for years, I didn't see nothing negative, literally. I changed my mind to be that of a child when it comes to me doing a backflip. You and I trying to do a backflip right now, we're probably going to get scared because we're adults and we know the consequences, that we can break our neck, mess up our teeth, and all that stuff, right?
Right.
Child, okay,
Right.
And that's just because they haven't been able to grow and fill their mind up with something that is a negativity, right? So me, literally, when it came to, like, right now, putting out a book about self-love and insecurities and how to overcome that, guess what I'm reading? I'm reading Glennon Doyle. I'm reading Bell Hooks. I'm reading all type of books like that so that I can get inspiration, because I only want to think in that perspective. So I would tell people that.
Definitely.
I can for days, but that's 3.
That was incredible. I feel motivated just hearing that little speech of yours. My next point was to bring up your book. That is so incredible. I think there's no better person to write a self-love book than you. You know, I think like we mentioned earlier, people all have insecurities, whether it's with their body or just relationships or anything of that sort. And I think it's incredible that you're putting that out there because, again, we always need positivity in this world. And so, yeah, I would love to kind of hear a little bit more about your book and the launch and everything.
Oh, definitely. So book's coming out this fall. I appreciate you asking about it.
Right.
I haven't given out much details. I haven't given out the title of it.
Yeah,
I haven't
no
given the exact date of it. I want people to be anticipating it, but I want people to know that the book is not cliche at all. The book is not cliche, American TV. The good will always prevail,
right.
in the sense of like the bad guy can't win. Right. My book is about being honest, being authentic with yourself, accepting certain situations. So for example, I was in the military. If I lost my leg, I need to learn how to accept that.
Definitely.
Right. And I think that a lot of people don't speak on certain topics when it comes to that nature. Right. In order when you go through AA, drug or Alcohol Anonymous, the first step is acceptance, right? And knowing, hey, I am an alcoholic. And that's kind of the route that I took with my book. My book is me being a realist.
Right.
I have different mantras in the book. I have different exercises in the book that you can do aloud. I can tell you one right now, but I'm not going to give it away.
Yeah, no problem. Wait for the book to do its talking.
Definitely. I speak on having faith within yourself. I'm not speaking of faith from a religious aspect, but more so the definition of faith within you, right? Because when confidence fails, because at all times, I mean, not at all times, but at times, me being on TV, I still was like, oh my God, I'm going to Maham's podcast today. My hair don't look good. I haven't got a haircut. Like, we're just human beings, right? So we need to learn how to build all these things up. Your hair looks amazing. We need to learn how to build all these different things up within ourselves. So I teach that in the book. I teach how to get over a relationship. I teach how to have the confidence to ask for a raise at your job. I teach how to help you understand that loving yourself first is amazing and is necessary. And I think that we live in a society to where we're like, oh, I can't be selfish. I'm like, when you can become selfish for yourself, you can help someone else. It's like when we get on the plane and they always give us the safety warning. If we're going down, put your own mask on first. Right. Or you put someone else's mask on. Right. Love is called self-love because it starts with self, right?
Definitely.
I mean, I can preach on this stuff for days.
I know you can, and that's amazing. Like I said, there's no better person, I feel like, to write this book, and I've been actually anticipating it for a while. I watched an interview of yours. I'm not sure how long ago it was, but you were speaking. It was like a radio host show, and you were speaking on, I think it's a French word. You can correct me if I'm wrong. Amor sweet. Is that how you say it?
More sweet.
Yeah,
more sweet. It's Latin. Yeah.
It's Latin. Okay, and it translates to self-love.
Self-love.
Yeah, and I think that's incredible because, like I said, it's very difficult for people to get to that realization of feeling self-love. And I think before anything else, whether it's career or relationships or just putting others, I think it's always important to put yourself first and in that priority. And I'm so happy you're releasing that, especially I think within the times we're in currently. Especially, I feel like people need to know that when you self-love, you can give love back to people.
Absolutely.
Right.
They say, what is it? Negativity loves company or something, like misery loves company.
Definitely.
That's because we all want to bring people that are like-minded. Guess what? If you're happy, you're going to make someone else happy. It's so simple. Right.
It's definitely very, very true. Very true.
Yeah, and if I'm not a happy individual, but you're happy because you were selfish and you took care of yourself first. You have the power to now influence me to be a happy individual as well. Yeah. It's like the most beautiful, most simple thing. Going back to being a child, kids figure out stuff really simple. As we become adults, we always got to be Elon Musk intelligent when I don't know how to make a rocket go to the moon. I really don't.
Right.
I don't care to either. I mean, I invest in Tesla. I got him, but that's about it.
Yeah,
As
stocks
far as
are.
I'm going. Yeah, like it's a very simple concept that I think that, and it's very simple concept, but hard to do because of the media that we live in today, right? And talking about, since I'm on your podcast, I'll say something that is extremely premature, but I'm working on something right now that will curb the media when it comes to the way we feel about ourselves, when it comes to having gynoplasty, when it comes to having breast cancer, when it comes to having testicular cancer, when it comes to wearing makeup, when it comes to being skinny, when it comes to being a woman that's over 6 feet tall, when it comes to being dark skinned, when it comes to being Indian in a white culture, when it comes to being a black person that's being asked all the time, Mike, why aren't you choosing as a bachelor? Is it because you're black? When it comes to all forms of insecurity, I'm working on something right now that will be on media to curb the stigma that we're receiving right now.
Wow, I am so excited to kind of hear more about this. I'm happy you chose my platform to kind of speak a little bit on it. It's very difficult for people to get to that realization of feeling self-love. And I think before anything else, whether it's career or relationships or, just putting others, I think it's always important to put yourself first and in that priority. And I'm so happy you're releasing that, especially I think, within the times we're in currently, especially, I feel like people need to know that when you self-love, you can give love back to people,
Absolutely.
Right.
They say, what is it? Negativity loves company or something, like misery loves company.
Definitely.
That's because we all want to bring people that are like-minded. Guess what? If you're happy, you're going to make someone else happy. It's so simple.
Right.
It really,
it's definitely very, very true. Very true.
Yeah, and if I'm not a happy individual, but you're happy because you were selfish and you took care of yourself first. You have the power to now influence me to be a happy individual as well. Yeah. It's like the most beautiful, most simple thing. Going back to being a child, kids figure out stuff really simple. As we become adults, we always got to be Elon Musk intelligent when I don't know how to make a rocket go to the moon. I really don't.
Right.
I don't care to either. I mean, I invest in Tesla. I got him, but that's about it.
Yeah. Stocks
as far as I'm going. Yeah, like it's a very simple concept that I think that, and it's very simple concept, but hard to do because of the media that we live in today, right? And talking about, since I'm on your podcast, I'll say something that is extremely premature, but I'm working on something right now that will curb the media when it comes to the way we feel about ourselves, when it comes to having gynoplasty, when it comes to having breast cancer, when it comes to having testicular cancer, when it comes to wearing makeup, when it comes to being skinny, when it comes to being a woman that's over 6 feet tall, when it comes to being dark skinned, when it comes to being Indian in a white culture, when it comes to being a black person that's being asked all the time, Mike, why aren't you choosing as a bachelor? Is it because you're black? When it comes to all forms of insecurity, I'm working on something right now that will be on media to curb the stigma that we're receiving right now.
Wow, I am so excited to kind of hear more about this. I'm happy you chose my platform to kind of speak a little bit on it. I'm actually Muslim American, so I was born in Pakistan and I moved here when I was 5 years old. So I've been in America all my life, so my roots obviously come from back there, but I've been here for so long that I got accustomed to the culture and everything, and I feel like people who put out platforms in that sense, it's extremely important. I'm so happy you're releasing things that might potentially help people. So thank you for that.
No, thank you. And where did you say you were from? I never heard of that.
I'm from Pakistan. So I moved here when I was 5 years old. So I've been here all my life. But oftentimes people ask me what city I'm from Texas. So I'm actually from Houston. I love Texas. And I think it's definitely a great state to be in, especially to raise a family.
Amazing state to be in. So all the people that listen to this, Texas is that state. From a financial advisor, from financial reasons, to also being, if you're a single individual, to being a family person, our state's the best state, period.
100%. I completely agree with you.
Awesome. I love it. Well, keep going. Keep striving for it. Wear the hard times because they're only going to make you greater as a storyteller when you get through those hard times.
100%. Well, thank you so much for sitting here and chatting with me. Those tips and that advice that you gave to business owners, it will definitely help a lot of people who are struggling or who need that extra push. So I'm definitely really excited to showcase that for people to hear.
Thank you so much, Maham. You're amazing.
No, thank you so much.
Appreciate that. Thank you so much.
Of course. No, definitely. I hope you have a great day and stay safe.
You too. Stay safe.
Yeah, for sure. Bye.